Hello everyone, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books. Today though, I am talking about the theatre, darling. Musical theatre, and it is Here You Come Again, the Dolly Parton musical. So, this was originally done in America and now it has been adapted for a UK audience. A Leeds Playhouse and Simon Friend Entertainment co-production. It stars Trisha Paoluccio, I believe that's how you pronounce it, as Dolly, and she also helped to write it. Hell yeah. And then it has Stephen Webb as Kevin. So you've also got Aidan Cutler and Charlotte Elizabeth York as backing vocalists and understudies for Dolly and Kevin. I went into this show knowing absolutely nothing. All I'd seen online in the trailer, the idea that you've got a guy called Kevin who is going through a rough patch and is inspired by Dolly. That was pretty much all I had going in, because I have not worked this show yet. I have 2 shifts on this show that runs about a month long. It's started on Saturday the 11th of May and finishes on Saturday the 8th of June. And as I film this, it is the 23rd of May. Go see it. If you like Dolly, if you like a musical, even if you just don't know that much Dolly, because I only know a few Dolly songs, admittedly. I'm a Reba fan. I like country music, but I don't like too hardcore country. I'm not like into the Christian gospel style. I like stuff that's a bit more poppier. I like a bit more modern country, I guess you'd say. So yeah, so Trisha Paoluccio as Dolly. So she's American, she was born in California, and her Dolly is incredible. Incredible. She has her voice down pat. Like the little like inflections in the voice, the occasional rasp, even the occasional lisp almost. Oh, she personifies Dolly in a way that only Dolly can do as well. Like, you can tell it's an impersonation. Obviously she's not actually Dolly Parton, but it is a very, very good version of Dolly, and I really, really respected that. And Stephen Webb as Kevin was just so good. That's your 2 main roles, and then you've also got, as I said, Aidan Cutler and Charlotte Elizabeth York as understudies, but also on stage backing vocalists. The band is on stage. You see them on stage, and then there's also a few more band members, I think, at the very back. Yeah, the set is absolutely incredible. If I've got pictures, I'll be putting them up now. There is so much detail in that set. It's an attic. Kevin is living in his parents' attic in 2020 during COVID, in lockdown. At the very beginning of the show is hilarious. The way it starts is so good. It plants you right in 2020 when like there was nothing on the shelves and people were hoarding loo roll because who knows why. But at the very beginning of the show you see Kevin climb into his room because he's not allowed to use the main way in, so he has a ladder into the attic, and you just see loo roll being thrown into the attic from the window. You got the one massive jumbo pack, then the second massive jumbo pack, and then a third massive jumbo pack. It's such a good way to start the show. The first part of the show is done almost like in a stand-up way with just Kevin on stage, as you get to know him, his relationship status, his family status, and his obsession with Dolly Parton. As you probably see from the pictures, there are pictures of Dolly everywhere. Like, Dolly is his god. He prays to Dolly. He has a "what would Dolly do" charm. And that's actually "what would Dolly do" bracelets are actually sold as merch, which I saw when I got my programme. As I said, I didn't know much going in. There are so many good songs. I don't actually know if there is there a music list in here? Yeah, so this doesn't actually tell you all the songs that are included, and to be honest, there were songs in there that I actually hadn't heard before, and there's obviously the songs that you do know, like Here You Come Again, Jolene is in there. Oh, I love how they did Jolene. Jolene was so funny because she's talking about the history of her love life, how she's been married to the same person for God knows how many years, and then she goes, oh, but there was one person, and then she starts singing Jolene, and you've got him in the background with a red sheet as a wig, just pretending to be Jolene. And it is so funny. Not just the Jolene section, the whole show was so funny. And there's a point where they're talking about like how dark country songs can actually be, and Dolly's making a list of all the different songs and the stories of them. And as she was telling one of the stories, she was like about halfway through the story of the song when the audience completely lost it, because we could see where it was going. So we lost it as she was telling the story, to the point when I feel like there was genuine laughter. I feel like they were actually corpsing, because you could see they couldn't keep it together as we were laughing so much as this story was being told. She actually made a comment about how we seemed to be ahead of her telling this story. And yeah, we just completely lost it, and then you could just see that glimmer, and I'm just like, yeah, that is genuine laughter coming from the actors on stage. They are corpsing because of us. There was another moment that I remember, and it was just like, that has to be genuine laughter, and it's a point when he puts on a wig and he just looks at her, and there was just a smile, a glimmer again. Sometimes you can just see it and you're just there going, that is a genuine laugh coming out of them right there. But yeah, so you see his life falling apart basically at the seams. At the beginning of the show he's talking about his boyfriend, and then he gets a message from his boyfriend saying, can't do this anymore, I want us to have a break. And that triggers the rest of the meltdown, essentially, where Kevin realises he now has nothing to live for. Like, he's been working in a comedy club, and at the beginning of the show he is fired because his employees can't afford to pay everybody, even with furlough. But yeah, so he loses his job, he loses his boyfriend, and then he's just contemplating life and just thinking, oh my god, I'm in my parents' attic, and at this point I have nothing to live for. My one stint at trying to do comedy completely failed when he was given an opportunity to go on the stage when he worked at the comedy club, and it was just, he just deflated like a lead balloon. And so yeah, after that you just see him hit rock bottom basically at the beginning of the show. And then one night, suddenly Dolly appears and comes out of one of his posters and is just there to give him life advice throughout the show. And it's heartwarming, it is hilarious. There were times that I cried. With the detail in the set, there were so many times I was like, Mum, do you see Zippy in the corner? There were so many things hidden in that set. There was one that I loved, which was a doll's house, which was on the top where the band was, and the doll's house was used in one of the songs. And yeah, it was just so good, so heartwarming, so lovely, so funny. It was just brilliant. And the costumes, bloody hell, those costumes are beautiful. Well, I'm hiding one of them because it's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, when you're looking at like the artwork of the costumes, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. And these are the drawings for the costumes that made it into the show, so you can see them here, and now I've got the memory of seeing them in person and just seeing how wonderful they were. There's even a section here which talks about what was there's an interview with the set and costume designer Paul Wills, and the first question is, what was your biggest inspirations for the set design? And he put Mary Poppins and the movies. Attics have this incredible allure, transporting us from spooky horror scenes to whimsical fairy tales. They are like treasure troves of memories, often bathed in a magical light that ignite our imagination. And that's just a wonderful thing to say about that set, because there's so much to it. And the fact that he was inspired by Mary Poppins and just the movies. There is an element of fairy tale to country songs because they're telling stories. It's why country and musical theatre go together so well. Yeah, this was such a good jukebox musical. There was a point when I had to my own mother for trying to sing along. Like, if it's a jukebox musical, you get your opportunity at the end to sing along, but, you know, people have paid to watch the performance and not listen to a rando in B6 belt one of the big songs by themselves. Yeah. You can mouth along if you want to, just don't sing. Just so wonderful. The cast is incredible. Trisha as Dolly is just perfection. And yeah, we just... It does get sad at certain points in the show, and it's based on the fact that this is a guy who feels like his life is falling apart during COVID, and so he does not see any way out. So when you're seeing somebody at rock bottom, and especially for somebody who was just like, I identify with this character in a few ways as well, just based on not just COVID, but even just how I went into a bit of a rock bottom moment. After uni, there were points when I was like going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, sleeping all day, and just, yeah, there's a funny moment where it kind of delves into that a bit when he takes a massive jar of Cheetos to bed, and it is full when he goes to bed, and when you see him the next morning, it's like there's not many left at the bottom. It's like a very real moment of taking that kind of snack to bed and just eating it all in one night. I just thought this was such a wonderful show. I believe it's going on tour afterwards, and then it will be going into the West End. This is not a drill, people. This is not just a rumour. They have been putting that on posters that it will be going into the West End. So yeah, I just loved it. My mum and dad loved it. They were very thankful I was able to get us tickets to go see it, because it's just like, right, I want to see this show. And then when I work it for the first time, my friend Jenny and her fiance, yes, Jenny's getting married, I'm going to be a bridesmaid. So Jenny, my best friend from uni, and her now fiance are coming to see the show on Saturday, which is when I'm going to be working it for the first time. So that's going to be really, really good fun to see them, if I do get the chance to see them, because obviously I'm working it. It depends on where I am, whether I'll see them. Definitely recommend it. It is wonderful. It is wonderful. Here you come again. Dolly Parton musical. It is bloody brilliant. Go see it. Whether it's at Leeds Playhouse, which is on to the 8th of June, when it goes on tour afterwards, or when it eventually gets into the West End. The amount of songs that got stuck in my head at the moment when she sings I Will Always Love You. Like, it's such a great twist on that song the moment that she does sing it in the show. And yeah, I'm so happy talking about it. It was just such a great show. And I remember talking with one of my mates there during the interval, and it was just because he was working it, and I was just like, mate, how do they do all the magic? Because there's little moments of magic. Because obviously Dolly, she's come out of a poster. There's little bits of magic of people disappearing, things disappearing, and yeah, there's a bit when some wine gets turned into water and we're just there going, oh my god, how did they do that? But yeah, it's just wonderful. Go see it if you can. It is such a good show, such a good musical. I just managed to hit myself in the head with this programme. That is how excited I am to see it again. It's just wonderful. And it did make me cry. It did make me cry because I really, really felt for him. And then it's just got a lovely ending as well. You see it come full, I say full circle, that would be wrong for it to come full circle considering how upset he is at the beginning. But yeah, it has a complete 180 for him, and it puts him in a very, very good place at the very end of the show. So it's great! It's great! Go see it! Anyway, I think I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to go cook myself some food. So, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see other theatre vlogs from me, I will try and do that for stuff that I like. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video. Stay safe, everybody. Love you all. Goodbye!